Hello and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new. I'm Jax, you can also call me Biscuit, and I just really want to do a sketchbook tour. This is the first year that I participated in Draw-Tober, although mine is a little bit different because I did kind of a Create-Tober, but I really just wanted to highlight like all the drawings I've done and also just to go for a sketchbook tour. This is my first one, so be nice, and that's it. Let's get into it. Bye. Okay, so this is the sketchbook that I got from Artex about it was like a couple of months ago, almost a year. I used my Artex markers in them, and you've seen them in my videos several times. But yeah, fair warning before we get started. The first page of this is not that great because I did think that this would be a not safe for work sketchbook, but that didn't end up happening. So let's take a look. This is also not dated because I just never date my sketchbooks for some reason. But yeah. Here's the first one. It's not great. I feel like I could do better. This is when I drew more people. I don't draw them nearly as much anymore. Oh, it doesn't really like to stay down because I just don't use the front. This is a drawing that I tried to do of Elmo. It didn't turn out the way I wanted, but I don't hate it. There we go. I moved it a little closer. This is a drawing of a sword I tried to do. It's okay. This is when I started drawing on both sides of the sketchbook. I like them. I also drew this for my brother. He's been talked about in my latest two shorts. But yeah, these are really short. This one is when I was trying a new art style and trying to do stuff. That is a sketch of a tattoo I wanted and like where I wanted it at as I tried to explain it to someone. This is the first time I drew myself in doing stuff, which I think ended up being really cool. This is when I was trying to follow along someone's thing for water. I didn't know that it was oil paint that they were using at the time, and I had not heard about the different mediums for what you call it, for acrylic paint. That's what it is. This is actually a much later. Oh, this one is dated. This was on the 18th of this year, so it's out of date. It was just empty. But this was an idea I had for like a candy apple cauldron, which I still might do. Excuse me. I haven't tried it yet. One second. This is when I feel like I actually started to get a little bit better at my art. So these are just some different drawings and other things. This was like a suitcase. This was a digicam. I saw a regular camera. This was supposed to be like a complex that I also just drew a flower in. This one is like a communications device that I made for a story. This is when I started doing the little art cards that I had, and I still have some and I plan to do them, but that was the sketch and some test of the colors. This is when I made the paint palette. This was the first sketch of it. That kind of turned out how I liked it, but also didn't. I can't wait to like go back and redo it. Another sketch of it that I did where I like reworked it, redesigned it. A sketch I didn't finish. This was a sketch of an OC that I had that I really liked, but I couldn't quite figure out how. This was another paint palette that I wanted to do, but this one more inspired by like the Tangled Sun. This one is the same palette as before, but with stars, and because I can't draw regular stars, I did the pentagram ones. This is actually how my current sign was made. I had happened to just be sketching. So the story behind that, I had the stool. It broke in like the middle of the night. My brother took off like all the legs on it, and then I was left with just like the part where you sit. And I was like, oh, this would make a really cool sign. And so I decided to just like make a sign, and I thought of the name for some reason. I did a really good croissant. I don't know why or how, but I did. And then I had to think of a name, and I was had been practicing lettering. So this is actually how my current sign got made, and I think that that's so funny because I was also thinking about changing the channel name to that, and then also using it for other stuff. But I think it's funny that that came from just like this really random thing in this random accident. This is where we start to get into October, where I'm doing a couple of different practices for the different prompts. I know this one was like a crawling eyeball, and then this was just a random cakewalk design that I had thought of. I was so mad because the crawling spider for the actual prompt didn't work. This one is the sketch that I did for Bloodsucker, and then this was the final that I still plan to fix on digital because, well, mostly because he looks like a Big City Greens character, and also because I just want it a bit more centered. I don't necessarily like the way it came out this way. This was the next prompt of that, and I did two. I did one where it was a chocolate cherry cake mimic, and the other one was like a blueberry pie one. Both of them I really like, and I think these two may also be ones that I fix on digital. Okay. This was another one for the crawling eyeball, and at some point I couldn't like decide because I thought about doing a smaller one. I had thought about the original big one I had. At some point I completely changed it to a pumpkin. I don't really remember what that was about. Here I did a warm-up page first because I knew I wanted it to kind of turn out decently well. And then this is another prompt that I followed. Oddly enough, while this one is like the main apple and where I was trying like the lineless style, I really want to draw this one and I'm actually pretty excited to do so. This one is another one that I had been really excited about, and so I did a warm up sketch over here, and then the final ended up being this one, the Phantom Thief prop, which I ended up like really loving and liking a lot. This page is actually wasn't supposed to be a drawing. This page was for wanting to practice my 3D modeling, and I was trying to think of something like very simple to work with and to go for that wouldn't like overwhelm me or make me frustrated with the new program that I was using. And so I ended up just choosing a burger because it's mostly spears with like a few different things, and it actually turned out pretty well. This one over here, this colorful one, was the prompt candy vomit for Draw-Tober, and I actually ended up liking it. There's not very often where I do like just heads with other things on it, but this one I think turned out pretty well. This one was another practice in 3D modeling, but I ended up really liking it. Well, liking how the model turned out, and I think it looks nice. It was also a part of my recent proud drawings that I did because I am not usually super proud of the drawings I do, or sometimes, but these I really liked. This was a keychain. This is the model of a keychain that my brother asked me to do for him that I think turned out pretty decent and that I really liked. So yeah. These are some very rough sketches of like things I wanted to 3D model and make. I'd seen a girl talking about like this toy vending machine she had got for her booth to use, and I was like, I don't want to pay them money for that, so I'm gonna model it instead. And this is me just like bringing them all out and seeing what they do. I couldn't quite get it the way I wanted, but this was how I was thinking about it if I did the square one, and then this was how I was thinking about it if I did like the turned one. You know, the ones where you just like press something in and turn it. And this is a drawing I did yesterday. This part right here is from a makeup brush palette that I completely forgot that I even had. And then I worked with a prompt because I was like, I haven't drawn a person in a while, and I was kind of going for like either someone who would be in the Ninja Turtles universe or someone they would fight. But this is how she came out looking, and I actually don't mind it and kind of want to redraw her to make something again. But that is it for this sketchbook. I will show you the like 3 or 4 new drawings I did because I've switched mediums and I just think that they're kind of cool. So this one I got on sale. It was like $2, and I am currently using it to try out drawing pastels. But yeah, so the first drawing I did was this bottle of yum yum sauce for my brother because he loves this stuff. And usually the top is like black as well, but I didn't want to like do black, and then it just the details wouldn't have come through. Um, that's just a sketch. Right. This time, I think I ended up understanding them a little bit better because I used it to draw and color this little cake that I did, and I think that turned out better than the drawing. I didn't do an apple that I thought was really cute and ended up loving, and so I think this might be my favorite so far. But I'm also very ready to try something else, and that's it. I didn't really do much with this yesterday. And that is the end of this video. If you made it this far, thank you so much. And if you are still here, personally, I think that if you've been thinking about trying Draw-Tober or Create-Tober or any type of challenge, that you should go for it. Even if you don't complete all the days, you'll still get like more confident in whatever it is that you're doing, and it might inspire something new. Welcome or welcome back once again, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.